I'm not very good at video games, more specifically the technical side of video games. I can do the thinky parts and the puzzles and the analysis, but I'm god-awful at the part where I have to have godlike reaction time and super precise aiming. It's the reason I was an Overwatch coach who could get other people to Grandmaster and even top 500 once or twice, but I was lucky to hit high gold on a good day. It's because despite having all the game knowledge in the world and having the analytical mind of an ADHD autistic with a tested 170 IQ, I also couldn't hit the broadside of a barn that was on fire with a heat-seeking missile if it was being held for me, which is why it's fairly surprising that my two best killers are ranged base. Even more surprising that I'm fairly good with the Huntress. Okay, not fairly good, but I'm more than competent. I'd say I'm above average. It's just so fun, isn't it? Chucking a hatchet and hearing the blood splatter as you know for a fact the person controlling that unsuspecting David just shit his pants and screamed at the top of his lungs. But let me not gush just yet. See, a little bit ago, I posted a video reacting to your Dead by Daylight hot takes, and in that video, I lamented in my honest, well-informed, and completely correct opinion that the best designed killer in this game was the Huntress, and in my comments one of the viewers asked me why that is, and I never answered because I have 1,200 subscribers now and I don't respond to peasants. Not really, I just felt it'd be better to make a video about it, so here we are. Consider this the opposite to my How to Fix series, where in that series I go over all my issues and provide solutions to those issues. Here I talk about how nearly everything is right about something, not necessarily about Dead by Daylight, it can be about anything as long as it pertains to video games, in an attempt to keep the positivity going, interlaced with rage, criticisms, and the occasional mental breakdown. I call it Dearly Designed, and today we're going to be going over the Huntress in Dead by Daylight. I mean, duh, did any of you read the title before clicking on this? Visual and audio design. Yes, we are all horny for 6'7" Russian mommy.
Oh my god.
And I would like her to kill me with dim thighs. I am more so talking about how well her visual and audio style create a chilling atmosphere. It's so unnerving to hear that gentle lullaby over the whirring of a generator and I Want It That Way by the Backstreet Boys playing on your Spotify. As you turn your camera right and left looking for her, she isn't close yet, but soon, when the heartbeat kicks in combined with the call of her song, you begin to feel the true terror as you hear a subtle grunt and the whizzing of a hatchet coming right for you. It's exciting and makes me feel like I'm being chased by a truly calculating killer. Her size is also incredible. She's like a giant bear looming over everyone, and her run cycle looks like a true beast coming for its prey. And let's also mention the subtle detail in how her lullaby becomes more maniacal the longer the match goes on. She kills and kills until it's just you hearing her fractured laughter as she can barely contain her excitement for the hunt. It's so fun and engaging, and I really just enjoy every moment of it when I'm playing against her as Survivor. When you're playing as her, though, it also feels like you're truly hunting down the survivors. You can hear your own lullaby welling up in your chest, bringing forth an eerie feeling that you are actually playing as the Huntress. They do such a good job with her audio and visual designs as making you feel like you're really controlling her, which is something they do generally very well throughout the entirety of Dead by Daylight, but I feel like with the Huntress, they do it just to a completely different level. Her power. I scratch my head to think of a more fair power than the Huntress. I have a few ideas, but overall, the Huntress feels good to play as and against. Playing as the Huntress, the hitbox of the hatchets is fairly forgiving, without being too broken. It's just big enough to teach proper trajectory and muscle memory, but small and slow enough in its flight to give proper time to attempt to dodge. If I had one complaint, it would be the lack of a crosshair or perhaps a brown add-on to show you the arc of the hatchet, because sometimes its arc and flight path can feel slightly inconsistent, but I blame that more on bugginess than I do on a lack of good design. On the Survivor side, however, you get so much to counterplay: auditory warnings, a proper speed that you can dodge if you're careful, and a good jump scare if you're playing against coconuts. Add-ons. One very common gripe of mine is how crap the add-ons in this game tend to be. However, the Huntress, she really doesn't have bad add-ons. The only one I hate is the weighted head, as 10 seconds of incapacitation doesn't do much, but other than that, her add-ons are not only cool on their own, but also great to mix and match. She's super fun with varying ways to enhance her playstyle, including stupid things like Stealth Huntress or Long Shot Huntress. She's just so fun to constantly see which add-ons work well with others, and you'll soon find your favorite combinations, or if you want to be silly, put on bandages and play M1 Huntress all game. Perk synergies. Huntress really feels like a killer that can be played with any build and make that build viable. Like most Huntresses, I prefer Aura Reading with Iron Maiden, but you can just as easily throw on, say, Bamboozle, Superior Anatomy, and Spirit Fury Enduring combo build and have a good time. You can do gen regressions or gen lockdown, you can pull off in-game or slug builds. There's so much that can be done with her that it feels limitless, and overall, I just really love how well she plays with almost any playstyle. This can be attributed to various things like, again, how fair and balanced and non-situational her power is. I mean, I don't mean to go back to the power, but the power just works so well with so many different things because it's such a simplistic and easy to understand power. Lore. Now, surprisingly, I'm not an overt lore hound for this game. I plan on making a video about it in the future, but for now, I'll say that text dumps and occasional narrated text dumps are not good storytelling in video games, nor is it necessarily a good accessible way to consume the lore, so I often don't go that deep into it. However, when I first started the game, I made it a point to read every killer I was playing in an attempt to breach the impenetrable wall that is the story of why we are murdering each other in endless loops. And for the Huntress, her story made me feel lots of emotion. She's based off the Russian folklore Baba Yaga, and I feel like they did a great job bringing that story into a video game character, which is often very difficult to do. It's very easy to develop a connection to her through her lore, and by establishing things like why she kills, it makes it easier to understand why she does what she does while she's in the realm. There have been various things for other killers, like the white eye theory, which I'm not going to get into this video because I'm not a lore channel, but the basics of it is that any character with white eyes is actually being manipulated by the entity to kill, as opposed to killing because that's what they did in their previous life. For the Huntress, you really feel like she has a reason to kill because she hasn't known anything else. She's perfect for somebody like the entity who just wants to feed off of the terror of the survivors. And because of that, her lullaby and her hatchets and everything else that strikes, honestly, genuine fear into me whenever I'm playing Survivor translates well into the lore aspect of not only the entire game, but also the Huntress herself. Overall, Behavior did a really good job with her lore, and when I do talk about lore in the future, I am going to bring up some not so nice things. So for now, let's just kind of revel in the fact that not only is Huntress a well-written character, she's also a well-designed character, from her power to her add-ons to her design, and I love basically everything about her, and kind of wish I was better at her. But anyway, that's my video on why the Huntress is the best designed killer in Dead by Daylight, and hey, let me know what you think. It may not seem like it sometimes, but I genuinely love getting feedback, your thoughts, and hey, tell me who you think is the best designed killer in Dead by Daylight. I've seen a lot of people say Blight, and I would really like to know the reasoning behind that. But I want to know. And if you like this video, you know all the doobly-doo for YouTubes that you should do. And drop by my Twitch, linked in the description, to hang out with me live. I love you all so much, and I will see you in the next one.